At one point, they had Zechariah Qureshi in tactical gear going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. We knew that we were looking for a guy named Zechariah Qureshi. We'd been talking about him. He's come up. We've looked into his past. We've looked into his dad's past. We've looked into his brother's past. We've looked into the whole family. Dom from I Don't Give a Dom gave a great piece last night on Zechariah Qureshi. But we have to go back and look at it in the context of what was actually said on the police scanner radio. And we're going to do that now. So we have a number of items from that day's radio transmission. They started a little after 3 p.m. So almost 3 hours rather after Charlie Kirk went down, we start hearing about Zechariah Qureshi, and we start hearing about people going hospital to hospital, perhaps. Why did Zechariah Qureshi come up on anybody's radar? We now know. And I'll play this now. I hope the audio is better on this than it was on what we listened to just a little bit ago. But let me share the screen here so that you guys won't see me large looking over my shoulder at my little monitor off to the side of my desk, because I've got to work on 2 different monitors to see this. But the first thing is they're looking for somebody going place to place.
Hey, I just got a call from my captain. Evidently, this suspect was at Utah Valley and left and maybe heading towards Tim for OCH. If we can get a detective each one of those locations at the front entrance of either the ER or the building to see where if he comes to one of those locations.
So the transcript's not exactly right. He had somebody at Utah Valley Hospital looking for Charlie Kirk, and they don't know if he's going to Timpanogos Hospital or the other hospital in the area. So they're telling people, hey, be on the lookout. Something suspicious happened. We've got to we've got to make sure nobody else is in danger here. So that's how this whole thing kicks off. This is the beginning of somebody going hospital to hospital looking. Now, the times you're looking at are Eastern times on the screen here. So this next one we're going to play is going to say 4:49 Eastern, but the reality is it's 3:49 or 2:49 rather Mountain Time, 2:49 Mountain Time. I think it's important to remember that. Here's the next piece here.
I'll tell TJ.
So 1014, the guy that's at the 400 South 2J address that they are wanting watched is a Zechariah Qureshi. He drives a red Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
Sorry, it's actually black, 2016. They last hit on clock last night, Provo and Center Street.
Dallin, can you put that out on our GroupMe so we can look it up, the spelling of his name?
Yeah, I'll put that out. And this info came in the CAD. Someone called in and said that he posted something on social media about something he wanted to do to Charlie Kirk.
So I'm going to pause it there. The reason Zechariah Qureshi came onto the police radar was not because he was going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. It was because he had posted something to social media, allegedly, pursuant to what we just heard on the police radio, that he wanted to do something to Charlie Kirk. That's why he ended up on the police radar. That's the guy they're looking for. They're talking about his home address. They're talking about his car, what kind of car he drives. They're talking about where it was last spotted on flock cameras, which frankly should be terrifying to all of us. Now we will continue.
Okay, so I got another picture of suspect, and we're going to get a picture of a vehicle, and that's what we're going to be looking for at any of the 3 locations that we're going to right now.
My spouse is doing some Facebook stalking, and it looks like that dude is actively deleting posts on Facebook.
So this makes it look even more suspicious. If you say you want to do something to someone and then something happens to that someone, and then you're driving around town deleting the post that said you wanted to do something, you look pretty bad, for being honest. I think good police work would say, who is that? What did he do? Why is he deleting his Facebook post? Perhaps we should go look him in the eyeballs, get an idea of what he's talking about. So this is how Zechariah Qureshi showed up on police radar. Not police radar. I shouldn't say that, because police radar could be like the radar gun, and that's not what we're talking about. This is how he ended up in police attention. This is why they started talking about him. Somebody called the police and said, hey, there's a guy named Zechariah Qureshi. Here's his Facebook. You'll notice all these posts saying he wants to do something to Charlie Kirk. Now, why would he want to do something to Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Is it related to his work, his dad's work, his brother's work? Is he part of some Magic the Gathering game where they were getting a little crazy talking about Charlie Kirk? Is he somehow related to all these weirdos in Utah that were talking about Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Does he politically not like him? Does he think he's too far right, too far left? I don't know. But that's how he ended up on the radar. Now, we will get to the point of some of the confusion here in just a moment and why it was everybody instantly started reporting that he was the guy going hospital to hospital.
Toyota just pulling up, parking on the street, black.
So we've got a black Toyota pulling up and parking on the street, Toyota Corolla.
Again, so this is the guy that's posted stuff on Facebook, but his car doesn't match what Hate's sending out. So we just want to keep an eye on this, but it's disappearing on me. Sierra 820 Bravo Lima.
Hey, blue polo shirt, black backpack, tan pants just went in Unit 6. Does not appear to be the male in the photo.
So they've got a photo of a suspect. There are two things taking place here. We have a guy going hospital to hospital looking. I think even the police get confused. We've got a guy going hospital to hospital, presumably. That's what the fear is, looking for Charlie Kirk. They'll explain why they say that in just a second. But you've got a guy who goes into the hospital and says, "Where's Charlie Kirk?" And then he runs off. And so they've got an idea of what that guy looks like. They send a picture of that guy around. Meanwhile, we have a second discussion taking place about a guy who actively said on Facebook he wanted to do something to Charlie Kirk. What that was, we don't know. And then he's actively deleting it in the aftermath. And that has landed on the police's attention, and they're looking for him. Well, they just camped out at his apartment. They had his address. They had a unit there camping out, and they just watched him walk in his apartment. He's got on a blue shirt and khaki pants. He doesn't match the photo of the person who left the hospital. That's what you just heard. I think the blue shirt and khaki pants is pretty accurate because that's what we have him on camera wearing at the event. We know where he was standing. We know who he was standing with. Ironically, he was standing with two guys in maroon shirts. But apparently, maroon's a very popular color among the younger set at UVU. Might have nothing to do with any operation. But I want to go back and let this transmission finish here. But I'm just trying to make sure everybody's clear in their mind what's happening here and why there was so much confusion about Zechariah Qureshi.
Tim, you just got out of that black car.
Okay, tell me that description again.
Heavier set, male, maybe 20s, maybe blue polo, tan pants, black backpack, blonde, short hair.
Okay, so best guess is an older model Nissan Armada or a Toyota Sequoia would be the best guess.
So now they're back asking about the person who left the hospital. Now they're saying it looks like an older model Nissan Armada. No one on their right mind would confuse an older model Nissan Armada, which is a full-size SUV, 15-year-old full-size SUV with a SUV compartment, big car with a Toyota Corolla, which is just larger than a micro machine, a teeny, tiny little car. No one's going to confuse the two. And so it's clear we're talking about two different people. But over the police scanner, it gets kind of confused. It gets conflated. You end up with people, your humble host included, that listened to this and thought Zechariah Qureshi was the person going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. What they're saying is the person who busted into the hospital looking for Charlie Kirk was in their best guess, an older model Nissan Armada, perhaps a Toyota Sequoia. But they're pretty sure it was a Nissan Armada. And so let's continue here.
Armada may be closer than the Sequoia.
All right, and best guess is it's this dude you're sending pictures of and not the heavier set guy that we're watching in 2J?
Yeah, this dude here was heavier set and did not have a prosthetic hand. I'll actually use both of them normally.
Enter suspect number 3. We had Zechariah Qureshi. He has two hands, two natural hands. Zechariah Qureshi drives a Toyota Corolla. He was wearing a blue shirt and khakis. So put him to the side. That's person 1, Zechariah Qureshi. Then you have a one-armed bandit. We don't know his name yet on here. We do know his name. His name was Andrew Prescaldo. He's done interviews. He's talked about it. He's been open about it. He was seen on footage in the immediate aftermath running away. He had kind of a black suit with a white shirt. He was carrying a bag, and in the bag had a strap, and people thought it might have been a firearm. And so he's wandering around, but he has one arm, and he looked pretty suspicious, if I'm being honest. I mean, who wears a suit and carries a bag with a strap in it wandering around a college campus? Apparently Andrew Piscado does. But he only has one arm. And you didn't know he just had one arm. It looked like he was wearing a glove. Why? Gunshot residue, fingerprints. I mean, your mind can go wild at that point. And so they're now talking about 3 different people. You have Zechariah Qureshi, you have Andrew Prescaldo, the one-armed man, and then you have the guy going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk, who may be driving in an Armada, an early model Armada. And that guy apparently is heavyset. Where did we hear heavyset? Oh, Officer Bagley described the person on the roof as not heavyset. So I think we can safely rule that guy out. He's not heavyset. I know that. All right. So let's fast forward a little bit. We'll fast forward a little bit. Let's go to 1523. Oh, not 25, 23, 22. We'll have to make 22 work. So let me pull this back up. Now we're going to get a little differentiation.
I just talked to a 2J patrol. He said that they didn't have anybody do anything on 4th South. The bull they got out was not the same vehicle that they saw leave the hospital that they thought suspect was. That's going to be the SUV, the Armada looking one.
Yeah, I just talked to him. There's no car outstanding. They didn't know that the guy went in the apartment because of some other traffic going on. But if this guy comes out, we'll contact him, see what he has to say. But he doesn't match our description.
So they basically ruled out Qureshi by this point. And they say, hey, we're not going to bother this guy. He doesn't match the description of the guy on campus that we're looking for with one arm. He doesn't match the description of the guy going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. And so we're going to rule this guy out, but let's keep eyes on him. And if he comes out, we'll ask him what's up. But because we know he was suspiciously deleting Facebook posts, and that's a little weird if we're being honest with each other. But let's not like bust in his door. We don't need to send SWAT. Now, we got our first mention now of Andrew Prescaldo by name, I believe.
Yeah, and in talking to the bosses above, our main suspect is still going to be that guy in the black suit with the prosthetic hand. Their guess is it is a Nissan Armada at best, and that'll be the main suspect. The really good photos that we got were ones from the Valley Hospital where he specifically went there asking for Charlie Kirk. When confronted, he took off running, got in that car, and jetted out of there.
Just talk to the medical examiner's office.
And so there's a question, are they still conflating Andrew Pascaldo with the guy who went into the hospital? We don't know this yet. We'll have to keep listening to find out. We don't know at this point, are they still conflating the two? But they don't give up on Zechariah Qureshi. They actually do go talk to him. I actually want to stop at this point. I want to show you real quickly a picture of the SUV that drew our attention. There was an older model SUV, if you recall, that showed up next to Tyler Robinson, or one of the Tylers, as he's walking onto campus. This is Limping Tyler. He walks up to the corner here, and an older model SUV, see that? Pulls up beside him. It's dark. Could be green, could be gray, could be black. We're not sure. But it's definitely an older model SUV. Is it a Nissan Armada? Is it an older model GMC Yukon? You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We don't know. But I do want to just leave that in your mind when you hear one of the radio transmissions coming up here shortly. But they now go over to Qureshi's apartment. And I want to bring your attention to going over to Qureshi's apartment, because while they're there, they get a visit. And the visit, in light of everything we now know, is a little interesting. The visit's kind of shocking, frankly, in light of what we know.
All right, KK, you'll have a good eye on the door. We'll have a radio with us. But other than that, we'll be incognito, knowing that Cook, you're going to be around the corner ready to help if needed, correct? Cook, are you on this channel? Let me call Cook real quick. Yeah, I got you. So Brandon and I will go to the door. You'll be around the corner for our support if needed.
So there is a window on the right side of the door, and the blinds are open.
All right.
They're 82.
You say that again, Kiki.
They are 82.
Suspect or someone different?
Suspect.
Hey, let's wait for them to confirm that before we put that out anywhere else.
All right, so they're heading to Zechariah Qureshi's house. And then the SBI, the Utah SBI, kind of takes over at that point.
Told in a phone call that SBI will come down and relieve us on this apartment so we can go hunt for a green Armada.
So the SBI is going to relieve them. They're going to hunt for the green Armada. Oh, the green Armada, the suspicious green Armada. Where could the suspicious green Armada be?
Sorry to do this. I do think we're looking for an Armada, but we're not 100% looking for a guy wearing all black with a prosthetic arm. I'm trying to clarify this all, but just stay what you're doing and keep your eyes out. And if that Armada does pull in, deal with it safely.
So we may be ruling out Andrew Pascaldo, the guy with one arm. Not sure what happened, why they're ruling him out. We think we've ruled out Zechariah Qureshi, but they are going to make contact. They're waiting for the SBI to show up, and they do have backup around the corner just in case. But they don't want to scare the kid by having, 90 cars show up at his front door. So let's go hunt for this green Armada. Where's the green Armada? Well, first, let's talk to Andrew Pascaldo.
It's got a note that was put in. I don't know if you guys are interested in looking at it. It was a call from Salt Lake City Dispatch, was input at 12. Where are you calling?
Dispatch 810-9, that intel from Salt Lake.
Salt Lake Dispatch called in, and they received a call from a male that said the officers were looking for him and related it was in relation to the incident. And the information in the note said that he did have a biotronic right arm. That same individual that called Salt Lake Dispatch also called us just a few minutes prior and said that he was there, but didn't have anything with what happened.
So Andrew Piscaldo, the guy with one arm, he sees that all over the internet, these guys are looking for him and everybody says he's suspicious. And, I'm sure he's been looked at strangely his whole life with one arm. It's not something we as humans should do, but, it happens. It's been known to happen. You see somebody with one arm, you give him a second look. So he's probably accustomed to it. He's probably particularly sensitive to it. So he calls and says, hey, it's not me. I was there, but I didn't do it. But guess what? All of a sudden, we're back on this Qureshi kid.
I'm getting strange phone calls that maybe this guy's more connected, the one that we grabbed, than we are giving him credit for. So we got to hold on there.
So they're getting strange phone calls that maybe this Qureshi kid is more connected than they first believed. So they're going to now attempt to make contact. They'd ruled him out. They're in the process of ruling out Pascaldo, but they are going to talk to him. We still don't know who's in the Armada.
Hey, a Nissan Armada just showed up.
Well, now we do. A Nissan Armada just rolled up. How convenient. How convenient. We had a situation where somebody was going hospital to hospital, that's their words, not mine, looking for Charlie Kirk. It was enough to show up on the police radar. It was suspicious. They put a bolo out for the guy. They take a picture of him. They discuss what kind of car he's driving. They think it's a Nissan Armada. And wouldn't you know, while they're sitting there, the Armada rolls up on them. What are the odds? It's like Tyler Robinson turning himself in without being looked for. So the Nissan Armada just showed who, pray tell, is in the Nissan Armada. We are dying to know. We're waiting with bated breath.
I have 0 for you now since they parked there.
Yeah, I'm being told Armada is SBI.
Oh, well, it's the FBI. It's the FBI. That's who's in the Armada. It's the FBI, guys.
All right. Yeah, we can just talk to them and see if they want us to hang around in case they need more bodies or if they're cutting us loose. That's all we need to know.
Okay, well, we'll just hang out now that the FBI showed up. Someone thought they heard SBI, so...
Two cars out of the car. So the guy in the Armada is the FBI, and the other dark hairs with the Marshals.
So it's the FBI and the Marshals, and they're driving a Nissan Armada. And when they are confronted at the hospital, instead of showing a badge and saying, it's okay, guys, we're with the FBI. No harm, no hard feelings. We're looking for Charlie Kirk. If he's not here, we'll check another hospital. And I'm special agent so-and-so, agent so-and-so. I don't even know what the FBI people go by. I think they always inflate their titles. Not all FBI people, but everyone. There's no such thing as a janitor anymore. They're like a maintenance specialist. They're a sanitary engineer. You're no longer just an agent with the FBI. You're like super secret double special sauce agent FBI. But you got FBI people and marshals showing up. Well, this is weird. This is weird. Might we institute some, assuming the people at the FBI were acting in the line and scope of their employment, might we institute some additional training for these people so that when they're asked what's going on here, they don't flee. They just confidently explain who they are and explain the situation. And then we don't have a 4-hour manhunt for them. Then we don't have a 4-hour manhunt looking for the FBI.
Okay, so it's not SBI?
No, he said FBI.
Yeah, they're clarifying FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, not State Bureau of Investigation. Let's back up here to confirmation the one-armed individual is not involved.
Right, everybody. Official confirmation is the one-armed individual is not involved, so we will not be pursuing that.
Is the Armada still in play, or does that roll the Armada out as well?
Yeah, that rules right out too.
Okay, guys, we're going to still hold this apartment until we know we've passed it off to SBI, and I'll start working on that, but everything else we can cancel on for now. The Green Armada and the one-armed bandit, we aren't going to go chasing. And I'll do.
While we're doing training with the dispatch and the FBI, let's not call our non-suspects the one-armed bandit, shall we? Let's just call them uni-handed individual or something. Let's have some respect. Have some respect.
To group me as well. FBI is here. They have taken over. They have the keys to the apartment and the keys to the car.
So that's the last time we hear about Zechariah Qureshi. We don't hear about Zechariah Qureshi again, and we just have one more small piece here that kind of finishes off the radio interest and helps us clarify for the rest of the evening.
Carlos' house, from his house in Salt Lake. We're good. So what's the plan now? Are we just going to head back south? Or?
Hey, Kiki, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I got to put out a message real fast, but can you go and make contact with those guys at that house and let them know that we're going to clear? And
I'm going to back up just a hair. I think I missed the beginning of that clip. Maybe I'll start just a second or two before it.
We got confirmation from FBI. We are good to break from the RO's house, from his house in Salt Lake. We're good.
Okay, so they're leaving the house. Qureshi's done. Pascaldo's done. The Green Armada's done. We're right where we started. We have no leads on anybody. There's nothing we know that we didn't know 40 minutes before. That whole series, though, was so confusing that everybody conflated everybody else. At one point, they had Prescaldo in the Green Armada. At one point, they had Zechariah Qureshi in tactical gear going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. Now, do we rule out Zechariah Qureshi from playing any role whatsoever in this event? I don't think you do.